The journey to type 2 diabetes doesn't happen overnight. It takes years, but it can begin with a single step. In this video, I'm going to talk about cravings, habits, and escaping the loop that leads to high blood sugar. Hi, my name is Cory, and I'm a pharmacist that helps people reduce their blood sugar and need less medications. The other day, I was talking to one of our diabetes coaching clients, and they had gone on vacation, got a little out of their eating habits, came home, and someone had let some potato chips out. Now, they felt a craving for those chips, ate some chips, and moved on with their day. But the next day, they felt that same craving. The key for them was they had noticed that they had a craving and decided to not have the chips the next day. And this is where I think a lot of people go on a downward spiral to higher blood sugar. And who else can relate? If you're doing pretty good with your diet, you're exercising, maybe you're seeing better blood sugar, and then one day a bag of chips shows up out of nowhere, or some cookies. And you have one, you don't think anything of it. But the next day, those cravings come back, and it becomes 2 cookies and 3. And before you know it, you're in a doom loop of higher blood sugar and processed food. This isn't a character flaw. It's inherent in how our brains work and how these foods are designed. Because when you eat this yummy food, you get a little hit of that dopamine, and your brain says, I like this. And then long ago, we didn't have abundant food around. So when a yummy carby fat combo comes together with lots of energy, our little lizard brain says, I want to eat more of that. And unfortunately, our foods are designed to give us those dopamine spikes. So the next day, you want to have that same thing, you crave it. But you're never going to be able to get to that point of satisfaction because your brain's always going to crave more. And this is the journey to type 2 diabetes that begins with a single, insidious, often thoughtless step. And it can be potato chips, it can be cookies, it can be soda. But it's all of these little moments that add up, that can send you spiraling into a high blood sugar problem that requires medication, leads to complications, and a whole host of problems that, frankly, we think are unnecessary when you have the right steps in place. But I want to go back to our client, because she'd been working with us for several weeks, really getting in touch with her body and understanding how good she was feeling, limiting a lot of these really addictive processed foods that raise blood sugar. And she also understood the patterns. Because, as I said, type 2 diabetes doesn't happen overnight. It's years of decisions, years of choices, years of energy toxicity leading to insulin resistance, leading to the need for medication, leading to complications, amputations, heart problems, not to scare you. But it's not like some after-school special where someone walks up to you and says, hey man, you want some cookies? It's part of our normal culture. But when we're not in touch with our bodies, when we don't understand the cravings and how these systems work, it's so easy to spiral and let these foods that are yummy, and frankly, I'm not saying never have a potato chip again, because I will myself. But when they become a daily habit, when every meal becomes a craving for something yummy, crowding out those whole foods, high protein, high fiber, satiating foods that lead to better body composition and blood sugar, they get crowded out because we start craving these things. So the journey to type 2 diabetes can take 1,000 steps in 10 years. But it can start with one single choice, and then ignoring the cravings and what they mean. So how do you break out of this loop? Our client kind of showed us the way. We have to understand what's going on with our bodies. We have to think through what we're eating. If you are eating chips and craving them, why are we doing that? Are you getting a lot of satisfaction out of it, or are you just eating them because they're there and they're yummy and you're craving them? So one of the first things that we can do is notice cravings and call them out for what they are. They're simply cravings. Your body's not deficient in potato chips. Nobody's body is deficient in potato chips, especially if you have high blood sugar and you're struggling with energy toxicity like that, okay? So we need to understand what it is. And number 2, how can we escape this loop earlier? We don't leave this stuff around. We don't let it trigger ourselves by simply looking at it. We're gonna develop maybe a craving for it. So can you fix your environment? And finally, stop the loop before it becomes a loop. Know yourself. If you know that you have a personality where if you're going to have one chip, you're going to have 10 bags and lead to weeks of problems. It might mean abstaining from those foods and choosing those moments that you eat them, because the cravings will come back. But if you want a lifetime of better blood sugar with less medicines, we can't eliminate the real world. We can fix our environment at home, but those are going to be around. So understand yourself, understand where those cravings are, and call them out for what they are, and know that they are not helping you get to better blood sugar. And getting back to our client, it was a seemingly small choice to say, day 2, I'm stopping this. But when these loops happen and we become craving and addicted to these foods, quite honestly, the sooner you can start in that process, the easier it's going to be to escape. Think of any habits you've had for a long time, good or bad. If you love going to the gym in the morning and you got to go in the afternoon, you're not going to enjoy that difference. If you've been having a bag of chips every day for lunch for years, your brain's not going to want to give that up. But the sooner you can intervene, the easier it's going to be to escape that loop, escape the cravings, and get to better blood sugar. Thank you for watching. If you want more resources on how to lower your blood sugar and need less medicines from 2 pharmacists that are on a mission to help people just like you, take a listen to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. We got a link in the description. Check out our other videos. And hey, if you know someone who's struggling with their blood sugar, send them our way. Share this video. Check out our other videos, because there's nothing we love more than stories like our client making the choice, putting a line in the sand for better blood sugar with less medicines, and winning and getting healthier. Thanks for watching.